12 excellent resume tips you haven't heard before. You only have 12 seconds to impress a recruiter. Make them count. Get inspired by these 12 resume tips and learn what sets a good CV apart from an excellent, recruiter-approved one. Put all chances on your side to make sure a hiring manager moves forward with your application. Keep in mind that having a well-crafted resume can be the key to getting your foot in the door at the company of your dreams. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. I hope you are doing fantastic today. I'm doing marvelous. If you are doing as marvelous as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. Today I want to talk to you about 12 excellent resume tips you haven't heard before. Number 1, keep an accomplishment journal. Whenever you are having a breakthrough at work and something happens, people give you a compliment or something big happen, please keep a log of your work accomplishments and positive feedback as they come up, because this can put everything together in the future very easy, and you can update your resume significantly easier. All right, so anytime you have a good compliment from the boss or the big boss of the company, keep it in the log, and you want to include as many details as possible so you don't have to spend time tracking them down, tracking the achievements and the accomplishment down later. Okay, an accomplishment journal will save your life and will boost your salary prospects in the future. Number 2, don't exaggerate with keywords. You know, sometimes when you go on LinkedIn and you read people's resume and you kind of feel like this is more a mumbo jumbo of keywords as opposed to great grammatical English sentences, right? Nobody likes that. And recruiters hate it. It's called keyword stuffing, and they hate it. You don't want to do that. What you want to do instead is to use keyword. You want to use the proper keywords, and you want to stuff, you don't want to stuff them. You want to put an appropriate number of keywords in your resume. All right. And sometimes use grammar, use some kind of, MS Word, Microsoft Word editor to change words a little bit. Many companies, believe it or not, and recruiters use keyword scanning software as a tool to narrow the job applicant pool. So it is important to include keywords from the job description into your resume. If you go overboard, they will catch it too. They will know that you're doing keyword stuffing, and they will just throw your resume in the garbage bin or in whatever electronic bin they have. Number 3, share social accounts strategically. Now, people like to include links to their social media accounts on a resume. That's becoming more and more common. I have no problem with that. However, it is critical to distinguish between professional account like a LinkedIn profile or Instagram account you manage for work, and non-professional ones like, your personal Facebook account, your personal Pinterest or Twitter account. Now, it might be tempting to include a personal account in order to show recruiters who you are, but believe me, you're better off only listing accounts that are professionally focused. You want to save your winning personality for an in-person interview, right? Remember, first impression counts, and you have 12 seconds to impress a recruiter. You want to make sure those 12 seconds are well spent and are directed toward elevating your professional profile. Number 4, copy and paste LinkedIn endorsements into the resume. Think about it. We all chase endorsements on LinkedIn. Sometimes we get good ones. Why don't you just copy and paste one of those into the resume? This will elevate the profile of the resume. Now, make sure that the endorser is relevant. So the person endorsing you is relevant to the job you are applying for. You want to make sure that the endorsement itself is also applicable to your application. Now, one thing we've seen while researching for this show is that the higher the endorser's reputation, the better. For instance, if you have the CFO or the CPO, the CFO or the CEO of a company endorsing you versus a regular rank and file professional, you want to highlight the endorsement from the CEO on your resume. That's great. Endorsers also that are who are affiliated with top organizations are also better. Even if they're not executives at those organizations, as long as the organization itself carries great credibility and a great reputation, it's always good, right? For instance, it's better to have the endorsement of I would say a senior manager working at a Fortune 500 company than having the CEO of a small company with 5 employees, a small company that nobody knows about. So you got to think about the right mix of endorsement to include it on your resume. It's great to only have 2, okay? And you can create a specific, I would say, section on your resume called endorsements or references and endorsement, and copy and paste them there. I'll be right back right after this for more resume tips. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Keyword. We're still having a conversation today around resume tips that you can use that you haven't heard before. We're definitely sure you haven't heard those resume tips before, and if you love the clarity and quality of the content we are sharing with you today, please consider subscribing to the awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show and turn on the notification bell so you can be informed of new shows every single day, rain or shine. Like this content, share this content, and comment below. Let us know which tip you like, or if you have other tips that we haven't covered, you want to drop them in the comment section. All right. Number 5, drop big names. Now, it's not really great to drop big names in everyday life, but you absolutely want to do this on your resume. So for instance, if you have worked with well-known clients or companies, go ahead and include them by name. That's what I said earlier in terms of endorsement. But now here you want to mention the name, not the person, right? So let's say you close deals with General Motors or IBM or Bank of America or Goldman Sachs. These names will get recruiters' attention in no time. And this is what I was talking about in terms of the Fortune 500 company. Those companies, in terms of reputation and credibility, being able to work with these companies and working with them successfully carries a lot of cachet, a great professional cachet. Number 6, only include your address if it works in your favor. Let's say you're chasing a job, you live in New York and you're chasing a job in California, in LA, right? And you want to put the address, and you want to move as soon as you get the job. But you have a cousin living in LA. You can use that cousin's address. It's not about lying, it's about being strategic, right? If you're applying to positions in the city or town you already live in, then go ahead and include your address. But what I'm saying is, when the position is in another location, you want to first get the opportunity to come for an interview. If you just put a different city, chances are the recruiters will just bypass your name, and you don't want that. You want to be able to go and have a face-to-face opportunity to prove yourself. So be strategic about the address you put. Only put it if it works in your favor. Number 7, mention your hobbies if suitable. You want to use your hobbies to your advantage, right? Now, not all hobbies deserve a place on your resume, but some do. And what you want to do is you want to fit the hobbies with the industry and the company, or even the recruiter. Some recruiters have public profiles. If you go on the internet, you can read about them. You can see what they do, what kind of charities they volunteer in. You can really sketch a social profile of the HR manager or the corporate executives who is about to interview you, right? So if you happen to share the same hobbies with them, mention them. For example, if you if you are a runner, running marathons is great because it shows discipline and determination and commitment and perseverance. Okay. Or if you blog about something related to your field, let's say you're looking for work in accounting and you have a blog about taxes or personal finances or financial planning, that's great. Those are hobbies that will cast you in the best possible light and make your resume just stand out. All right. Number 8, indicate skills strategically and sparingly. Now, a lot of people like to flood their resumes with with gazillions of skills. No, when it comes to skills, quality is better than quantity. There is no need to indicate skills that most people in the job market have. It's like you go into a restaurant and you say, well, please, I want to order this pizza because I have teeth. Did you get that? Right? I have teeth. No, everybody who comes to a restaurant is supposed, at least they are understood, to have teeth. Whether natural ones or artificial, doesn't matter. They have teeth. So you don't have to list the skills that most people in the industry have. You want to list skills that most people don't have. So you were trying to set yourself apart from the competition, from other candidates, right? So this is what it is. You want to keep your skills section short and only include impactful skills, impactful abilities that are relevant to the job you are applying for. I will see you right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We are still having a conversation about 12 excellent resume tips you haven't heard before. And I want to talk to you about number 9. Utilize your performance reviews. Now, all of us go through every 6 months or 1 year, you have a biannual performance evaluation and an annual performance evaluation. Most companies do have an annual one. Whatever was positive in your performance review, put that on your resume. And this is pretty similar to the endorsement. If your boss wrote something nice about you or extraordinary great about you, or the performance itself has been stellar, let's say on a scale of 0 to 10, you received a 9 or an 8. That's fantastic. That's brilliant. You want to put that on your resume, and you want to include specific feedback you've received as well as goals you've met, so that you can show your prospective employer that, you know what, you have the experience. And again, it has to be specific, no fluff. You don't want to fill out your work experience with fluff. No, indicate specific feedback. Number 10, use common sense when it comes to email addresses. Right? When it comes to email addresses, you don't want to put your crazy, love Joe or love Jane Doe at gmail.com. No, you want to put something professional here, right? You want to stick with something professional based on your name in order to make the best possible impression. And this is important. I'm not asking you to put your full name if you don't want to, but don't go with a crazy name like email addresses. No. All right. Your current work email address, don't use that. Never use that. And if you have, because again, this shows very poorly on you when it comes to job etiquette. And don't go with an overly personal or inappropriate email address as well. Number 11, skip generic descriptors. Those are the funny ones, right? You see them sometimes, or all the time. You go on LinkedIn, everybody is self-sufficient, proactive, self-motivated, self-starter. They're hardworking, they're detail-oriented. All of those words, folks, they're just fluff. Those are descriptors that everybody uses. Everybody understands they're not getting hired unless they show they're hardworking, and companies expect you to be hardworking, right? But you want to skip them. You want to use, at a minimum, use the dictionary to get synonyms of those words or those adjectives. Right now, most job seekers, as I said before, they are hardworking and motivated. So these traits don't really set you apart from the rest of the applicant pool. What you want to do instead is focus on the specific skills and accomplishment that make you different from everybody else applying to the position. Number 12. Yep, we have 12 excellent resume tips you haven't heard before, and this is the last one. Number 12, you want to indicate relevant philanthropic and volunteer engagements. Now, this is great because it shows that you have time and you care about other people, that you care about top issues in the community, and this could endear you to a recruiting manager, and you can get your professional network and all your volunteer engagement. Those you want to mention on the resume should come from reputable sources. For instance, professional organizations, local causes, community activities. If you have citations in the news media, you want to include those also. All right. This is it, folks. Really appreciate your having your time with me today. It's been fantastic. Want to quickly recap the 12 excellent resume tips we haven't heard before. Number 1, keep an accomplishment journal. 2, don't exaggerate with keywords. Share social accounts strategically. Copy and paste LinkedIn endorsement into the resume. Drop big names. Number 5, only include your address if it works in your favor. Number 7, mention your hobbies if suitable. Number 8, indicate skills strategically and sparingly. Number 9, utilize your performance reviews. 10, use common sense when it comes to email addresses. 11, skip generic descriptors. And 12, indicate relevant philanthropic and volunteer engagements. Thank you so much for listening to me. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.